Well, I don't know where to start today. What are we going to talk about? Let's talk about the world. You want to know the history, the past, the present? It doesn't matter. We know it all. Well, between the collective, we know it all. But let's talk about these frickin' politicians, the huge corporations, the banking institutions, the stock market scams. I mean, it's all a big scam. It's all a big joke. It's all about control. It's all about slave labor. It's all about making them rich and keeping you poor. The politicians, the presidents, the kings and queens and whatnot, the rich people that own the corporation that's in their families and friends and the banking institutions. It's just all one big giant game. And your pawns. You're just as much pawns as the little soldiers that they send in, the little toy soldiers that die every day to make the rich man richer. But let's break it down to this. Alright, you work all your life. Most of you people out there, you go out put 30 plus years in at the same job, racking up them years, get your retirement all set up, your social security and everything. And you think you got it made. You know, you might even have some money saved up, maybe for a 1K, stocks, who knows what you think you got going on. It doesn't matter. Some of you will get lucky, and some of you will get what you think you got coming, but not all of you, because this is not the way it works. Nobody would make any money that way. The government wouldn't make any money. I mean, you think they're just going to survive off of skimming off your tax dollars and doing midnight raids on your Social Security frickin' money? No, they're not. It's just the beginning. It's just a little slice of the pie. You don't understand the control these people have. You know, I've told you in one of my other talks here that, you know, they can control the farming. They can control how much food that we're allowed to grow, how many vegetables, how many fruits, and how many animals we can raise, and what we can give them, and how much medicine we can grow. You know, they force us to throw away 50 to 75% of our harvest. Because why? Because they want to control the prices on the stock market. So how is that not a scam? You got starving people around the world, sick, dying people, and they're throwing this stuff away so they can control the prices to put more money in their pocket, and they don't even do anything. They don't do none of the work. They don't do none of the labor that you hire everybody to do. None of the office work that you do, and even the labor that you do. They don't do anything. They don't pay any of the bills. They don't pay any of the costs. They don't have anything to account for. They just sit there with their pockets open and you just throw money in it. That's all you're good for. You're a number that throws money in the corrupted rich people's pockets. Well, let's break it down. So they can force you to throw away your crops and whatnot. You're only allowed to make so much money. Of course, this screws the hell out of the farmers and everything, you know, because we got to pay for everything out of that. We got to pay for our costs, our losses, our labor, our expenses, everything. The bills, the light bill, the water bills, it just don't stop. I mean, and now we got to pay all this out of what we got left because they made us throw away 50+%, which is our pure profit. So we're lucky if we're even scraping by to the next crop. Why do you think so many people does not want to get into farming anymore? The children are not taking up what their parents done and their grandparents done and their grandparents done before them because there's no money in it. It's all done by design. The rich people want it all to be closed down so they could bring in their corporate farms. So they control more chemicals that they're going to put in you to kill more of you. Because they don't want you eating healthy. They want you eating junk. That's why it costs so much to eat healthy food, but you can buy junk food by the tons, penny a pound. That's why everybody's walking around with huge butts, big bellies. It's all junk. It's poison. Got all these diseases and cancers and everything from those Monsanto GMOs and all the other ones. Is FDA approved? FDA approved what? Suicide? FDA approved poisoning? FDA approved crap? They're killing off all the good stuff that's for you, that's made from Mother Nature, and they're pumping all this garbage in you. And now they're controlling the prices of the stock market with this. And they control the price of the stock market and everything because these huge corporations own all the other companies. I mean, you might have some mom and pop companies, but they're doing business with other companies that belong to these people. And you know, the huge corporations get such big deals. I mean, they get such, like you take Walmart's and them. They buy 50 semi-loads of pop at one time, so they get it so cheap. But the mom and pop grocery stores got to pay practically $1.80 themselves just to carry a 20-ounce bottle of pop. Well, it's cheaper for them to go buy it from Walmart or Myers or one of the other big super chains because they can't buy 50 semi-loads at a time. It's ridiculous. How's anybody supposed to get ahead in the world? How's anybody supposed to be able to have fair trade? You should pay the same price no matter if you're the small guy or you're the great big guy, because you ain't never going to be a great big guy. If they're getting everything so dirt cheap, you just can't compete. And that should not be allowed. And look at the grocery stores. They make the public, like I told you before, they make you buy bulk in order to save a few pennies. You end up throwing 40% away. So anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about right here. So you got the farmers throwing the food away. Well, the prices on the stock market goes up. Now these government guys, they call all their corporate guys and they say, hey, you know what we need to do? We need to start laying some people off and firing some other people. So they start doing that. Now they got the job market flooded because there's more people out there than there's obviously jobs going around. So the job market's flooded. What little bit of jobs is out there? It's insane. I don't understand. Then they raise the prices on the food. Well, you got all these people unemployed, starts eating on their savings and everything. So that money is getting ate away real quick. And you got all these people trying to get a job. Well, now they're raising the price of gas. You can't even afford to go look for a job because you ain't got a job because you just got freaking laid off on the job that you were on, or you just got fired, or some other shit, or the business went bankrupt and now they're not going to pay you your pension anything, and you worked 30 years for nothing. You got all these bills that you owe because you make your bills to your income. That's how you set a budget. So you got all these toys that you buy and everything. You got all the houses that you're paying for, mortgages, whatnot. And boom, it's gone. You go in one day and there's a close sign on the door. Hallelujah, there you go. What you gonna do now? So now the job market's flooded. You can't get a job. You can't pay your bills. They repossess your car. You couldn't afford to put gas in anyway, but you couldn't go get a job to pay for the payments, so now it gets repossessed, so now you definitely can't get a job. Then your house gets repossessed. Next thing you know, you're that homeless guy that you were spitting on a couple months ago. Call him a lazy bum, tell him to get a job. You're sitting there in the same place he is, or she is, because the same thing happened to them that just happened to you. You lost your house, and bankers come in. They foreclose. They take it for pennies on the dollar. If not, they take it for back taxes, which is even less pennies on the dollar. They take your vehicles. They resell everything. They make a killing. Because after they take everybody's stuff, guess what? They can lower the stock market back down and make a killing. Property rates go up, They go down when everything's crashing. They buy cheap. They get it for nothing. But once everything goes back up, they sell it high. That's how they get rich. This is how they make their money, besides stealing it, killing people for it, murdering innocent people around the world, you know, for black gold, oil, and gold, and diamonds. It ain't nothing, man. It's just destruction, destroying the world is all they're doing. And you're letting them get away with it. I don't understand that. They treat you like puppets. You're like a little puppet on the street. You go to work every day. You pay taxes, tax that. It's insane. I don't understand it. It's a scam. And you're falling for it. And now you're eating all these poisons. And it's making you sick. We wouldn't have a welfare program if they wouldn't throw away all that food. They sat there lying about the high cost of medical when they cause the medical problems. And they own the medical companies and the insurance companies. So they're making money hand over fist. And they're killing you anyway because they're always telling you, you're overpopulated, you're overpopulated. Well, you're not overpopulated. They just want to kill people. That's what they do. Look at their history. Look what they've been doing. What are they doing right now? They're killing people. Why? Because they're different. Oh my, they're different. Who cares? We need color in the world. Everything comes with color. Would you go to an art gallery if everything was painted white? There would be no point in even having an art gallery, would there? Would you even go to a garden like the Botanic Garden and enjoy a day at looking at all the different plants and all the colors and all the different flowers if they were all the same color? Come on. It's part of nature. And I've explained to you before how that's worked. It's vitamin D from the sun. You need an education. That's the problem. Nobody's educated. Oh, all this bullshit, wasted time that you spend turning your wheels, 13 years, 14 years, depending if it's kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, to learn what? Nothing. You don't know anything. You go to college, you still don't know nothing. You come out. Most of the people I know that are dropouts know more than most of you college graduates. It's sad. It's a piece of paper. It means nothing. You spend $250,000 for a piece of paper, guess what? We read it at the library for free and don't know anything. Who the fuck's smarter? Sure the fuck ain't you, unemployed fucker. And if you got a job, it still wouldn't be right because you're killing people. You think you're helping people because they teach you that you're helping people, but you're actually killing people. Chemotherapy, come on. Makes your hair fall out, destroys your immune system, fries your insides. How can that be good for anybody? You don't cure people by making them sicker. That's not a cure. That's a death sentence. I mean, down in Mexico for over 10 years now, they've been down there putting people in hyperbaric chambers, or however you pronounce that. And what it does is, it's like a chamber what they use for divers that come up, and they get the bends and stuff because they come up too fast. With this, they put you in there and they just pump it full of enriched oxygen because cancer cells cannot live in enriched oxygen. And then after that, they just put you on a strict organic diet because cancer cannot survive in a high alkaline level in the body. So, I mean, come on, it's just simple things. Natural vegetables and fruits and spices and roots and barks and plants and leaves and vines. Everything is designed and here for a reason. These are the natural chemicals that's supposed to be in your body. They're trying to tell you they're bad for you. You need this junk. Well, think about it. You're a few million years old. How did you ever survive to spend the last 100 years messing with their crap? Get a clue. You're being lied to. Your religions are a lie. Your history's a lie. Your medical's a lie. Your education's a lie. It's all a lie. You haven't got a clue of what's actually going on. It's all about making the rich people money. That's all it's about. The corrupt rich people. Don't get me wrong. I went through this before. I'm not talking about the actors or the actresses or the comedians or the singers or any other professional artists. The artists, the painters, the sculptors, the scientists, the real doctors. Well, not the phony ones. They think they're doctors. Bless them. Some of them actually think they're doing good. And it's not their fault. They're idiots. They were just taught to be that way. But hey, that's just my opinion. It's my personal opinion. It's what I believe. And, that's what everything I do. Everything that I write, everything I repost, everything that I record, anything I do is all about my opinion and what I believe. And that's my constitutional right, just like it is yours. See, the thing is people don't know their rights. Most law enforcement cops, they don't really know the law. They just get a call, hey, go here, arrest Jim Bob. Okay, I'll go get him. They don't know the laws. They don't know the things you're allowed to do or cannot do. Or that's what lawyers and district attorneys, I'm sorry. That's what lawyers and district attorneys and all them guys are for. Judges and all that. The cop, they basically just point and tell them, go get this guy. It's like a dog fetching a frisbee or something. I don't know. But, and most of them are just crooked. Not all of them. But I'm going to tell you what. If you're letting these crooked cops continue to be a crooked cop, then as far as I'm concerned, you're crooked too. Because you're not doing your job to serve and protect the citizens of America. Just like the military. When you join the military, you take an oath to serve and protect the citizens of America. The government, you don't work for them. You work for the citizens. Remember that. The Constitution starts out with we the people. Not I, the president, or we, the politicians, or we, the corrupted rich people. That's not what it says. It says we, the people. That's the people of the United States, all of us, every color, everyone you can think of, because we've been here so long, we're so blended. We have everything here. Everybody from every country came and built this country. Some as slaves, unfortunately. Some did it voluntarily. Some did it voluntarily and ended up being slaves. Some did it voluntarily and ended up being killed. Some were slaves and ended up being killed. Beside the point is, it was still built by a rainbow tribe of people from all around the globe. This is what America was supposed to be all about. We got all twisted up. You guys, like I told you before, you didn't win the Civil War. You didn't win the Revolution before that. This is all bought. You think you won it. You didn't win it. And then you think you won it. You didn't free the black people. We're all slaves. It was made it look like they were free. Made it look like you're all free. Just give you a minimum wage job. Give a few of them a little bit more so that way you got hope. Just like when you go to church and pray every Sunday, things will be better. Like you get fucking asked by your boss and the government, same people as far as I'm concerned, but whatever. It's insane. It's insane. How can you do that? How do you let them do that to you? I don't understand. It's just, you gotta be able to see what's happening. You got to get a clue what's going on. Come on. You're insufferable. I've said it before. Insufferable. Dougie doo, daddy doo, bandy bees. That's what you talk like. I can't understand you most of the time. just talk like gibberish. You think you're saying something intelligent, but to me it don't sound intelligent because, I've got a better education, I guess. My family's passed this down generation, generation, generation. Plus, when you're awakened, it's born right back into you. Your DNA is a giant library. Everything that anybody in your family's ever done before you is in there. Just like your DNA is your family history. It's your bloodline. It tells you who you are. It also tells you what you are. There's a lot of things encoded in that DNA. They think a lot of it's junk. It's not junk. They just don't understand it. They're junk. And that's what the junk is. The education they got. I know. You've all heard me before. A lot of people, they get upset, but I just have to be this way. It's just, sometimes you just gotta put shit right out there in people's face. You gotta make them understand. You gotta make them see the truth. You gotta make them listen. It doesn't matter if you like me or don't like me. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to set you free. I'm here to educate you. I'm here to wake you up. We're all here to wake you up. There's 144,000 of us, the warriors of 9. 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 9. Everything in the universe is 3, 6, 9, and 12. Tesla told you that. They hushed him up. He was going to give you free energy over 100 years ago, but they don't want that because they can't make no money on it. It's like they don't want no green energy. They get more money off polluting the world because then you get sick and they make money off of that too. That's why they keep you poor, because they force you to commit crimes so you can survive. I mean, come on. People can't feed their families and stuff. What's going to happen? You going to sit there and watch your children starve to death? No, if you're a good parent, you're going to sell your soul. You're going to do whatever it takes. You put food in Johnny and little Penny's mouth, and keep a roof over their head, and make sure Tommy goes to the dentist, and make sure Jamie goes to the football practice in her new cheerleading outfit that cost you a frickin' fortune. You had to work an entire week just to buy the son of a gun. Well, most of you do anyway. It's low income. How do you expect to do anything? You gotta scrape by to hold your kid a birthday party and these rich fucks to take everything that you got that you worked for. Just load the gifts on. Buy the kids ponies and cars and whatnot. And fancy jewelry. And buy their old ladies $100,000 necklaces. And $60,000 cars. And $60 million mansions. And $20 million yachts. And $100 million jets. And what do you got? Nothing. You ain't got nothing. You're lucky if you could even make it to work next week. And if you don't make it, guess what? You're fired. Because there's plenty of people to take your place. Because you're nothing to them. Nothing. You're replaceable. You're expendable. A lot of these movies, if you paid attention, they're actually trying to tell you something. It's actually an education. It's just, you gotta pay attention. You gotta read between the lines. It's like religion. Don't take the words word for word. You gotta understand the true meaning of those words. It's been translated over and over and over again. And a lot of times when you're translating languages, there's not a word in the other language that actually fits this word in this language. So they improvise. And the problem is when you change a word, you change the contents. Because each word has a real root meaning. There's several meanings to a word. But in order to understand what the original meaning is, you got to get to the root source of that word. So if you understand the root source of that word, and you're changing that changes the entire contents of that sentence. After a while, changing it throughout the entire book or scroll or whatnot, you're changing the entire contents of that book or scroll. Or you got the people that do it on purpose. Well, no, that ain't the way it's supposed to be, so they write their own version in. And now nobody knows what's going on because they translated it wrong. It's completely wrong. They got some words that don't even belong in there and don't mean exactly what they're supposed to mean. They got other ones that they just make up and put in there because it's their idea of the way it should be. That's why there's so many versions. I mean, besides that, people growing up, say everybody practice. You got a village of people. There's 1,000 people there. Everybody practices the same religion. Okay, over time, these 1,000 people make 10 more villages. So you got 100 more people in each village. You got 10 villages now instead of one. But they're all living in different areas. So they all got the same religion up to that point. But now, things are being added to each one differently. And these people no longer talk to each other because they got no communication. They live far away, too far to go see each other. So, once you move away, it's done dead. There ain't no computer, no email, no phones, nothing like that. You ain't getting in contact with them. But now they're all keep evolving, they're all moving, they're all going in different directions. Like say to Africa and getting more vitamin D, so their skin's getting darker, like I've explained to you before, because the more vitamin D you get, it gets darker, less it gets lighter, blah, blah, blah. But now their religions are also having more stuff happening. So you got 10 different versions with all the same beginning with different accounts afterwards. And then it's translated and retranslated and retranslated and retranslated. And it's mixed up and it's changed and it's twisted. And it's a bunch of lies. And it's just crazy. You don't even know what you're praying to anymore. I keep telling you, good is evil and evil is good because you have been deceived. You think you know, but you don't know. You should know, but you don't know. Catholic priests raping your children. I am going to put this in every show, every talk that I do, because this upsets me extremely, extremely bad. And the Pope just pays people off. We can't have this. This cannot be allowed. Our law enforcement is out of control. Something needs to be done. Our military needs to get a clue because they're supposed to protect the United States citizens from all foreign and domestic terrorists. And my friends, my family, my sisters, my brothers, my children, we have domestic terrorists running our world. They're running our world and they're destroying our world. They're destroying our environment. They're destroying our children. They're destroying us. And it's all for profit. Profit for money that don't even exist because, like I've told you before, nothing is created with a price tag on it. Nothing is created with value. You just walked in someday and it's like picking up a pink rock off the ground and saying, hey, I'm the leader and this pink rock's worth $100 and all these pink rocks belong to me. Look how rich I am. Come on. Get a clue. You don't need money to survive. You need necessities. Like I've told you before, we are the only species on this planet that pays to live here. And we're supposed to be the advanced species? No, we're not. You know why all the other species don't pay to live here? Because they're not frickin' stupid. That's why. Like I've told you before, a lion just eat the motherfucker. It'd be over with. Fucking take that shit. That's a real king there, boy. Granted, the females do all the hunting. The lions still eat your ass. Ask the Christians and them. They've got fed to the lions all the time. Romans used to feed people to lions all the time. They had a good time. Well, the people in the lion's den didn't have a good time, but the Romans did. Yeah, they had a good time. It's like all the Catholic priests fucking your kids are having a good time, and you're doing nothing, getting paid to be a pimp. Pimping my kids. That's what you're doing. You're pimping your kids out to the government. You're pimping your kids out to the priest. You're pimping your kids out to all these people. They're not priests. False prophets. False priest. Evil is good and good is evil. You need the devil fucking them kids in church. You be the priest, and guess who they represent? Your God. Not mine. I know mine is they got us. Gaia. Gaia is my creator. Not your God. Your God is made up. A cheap version, rip off, and twisted of my God. It's everything in this world is created by feminine influence. You gotta think about that. When women get pregnant, they carry the baby inside them. They're doing all the work. You're nothing but fertilizer and plant the seed. You plant the seed and fertilize it. That's all you fucking are. Women do all the work. They're the ones that carry that baby. They're the ones laying there screaming in pain when that sucker rips its way out of their fucking ass. I'm telling you. Anybody that can do that shit has every damn right to be a leader and used to be. Used to be queens. Used to be that we took the mother's names and not the father's names. See, all that got twisted by these little dick fuckers, these little Jewish, Hebrew, fucking Zionist motherfuckers with little dicks who gotta feel big about themselves, so they gotta make themselves look bigger than women and down women. You know, oh, she washed Jesus' feet, yeah. We had to stop her from being stoned because she was a hoe. You know, at the Last Supper, she's leaning over, talking to another guy. Come on, it's all done by design. Why do you think it took so long for women to get women's rights? Because men were raised to believe that they are less than them, that they belong in the kitchen barefoot and kicking. Which I don't mind the barefoot and kicking. But there ain't no reason why she can't be a queen too, and I can cook just as good, so it doesn't matter. I think our world would be better off if it was ran by women. I seriously do. Hey, my mom was a woman. She was a pretty nice woman. You know, and she got mad. She was stern. But she was a pretty good, decent person. You know, more than what I can say for most men. Now, most of my brothers, them damn thing, I'll tell you, them guys were, my sisters were better. That's all I'm going to say. You know, my brothers, they were about the worthless fuckers that ever walked the earth. And I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. But my sisters, I love them all dearly. They might not have felt the same about me, and that's fine, because I was kind of a hellion when I was younger. But I still am kind of a hellion. It's who you evolve into. It's what's important. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. It's just most people won't admit their mistakes. They won't talk freely about them. They won't be so openly about them. I made plenty of mistakes in my life. This is how we learn. It's just like you don't learn how to get back up unless you fall. You fall to learn how to get back up. And as long as you keep getting back up, that's all that matters. It's when you stop getting back up that you've lost. What you got to do is learn from your mistakes. You make mistakes, fine. That's just the way it is. Not learning from your mistakes is the problem. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you're hopeless. You're just a waste of space in society. But if you learn from your mistakes and you use that to help others, then you have achieved something great in your life. Not only have you straightened your own life out, but you have took the experiences of what had happened in your life and took the negatives and turned them into positives to help other people turn their negatives into positives. And then those people will go out and help other people turn negatives into positives. And if this keeps up, eventually it'll spread around the world. And finally we can have world peace. It ain't that hard if you think about it. You pay it forward. I've seen a movie about that once. A little kid came up with it. He was like 8, 9 years old. Pay it forward. Somebody does something nice for you. You know, I'm not saying don't do nothing nice back for them, but somebody does something nice for you. Sometimes you just gotta pay that forward to somebody else. Sometimes somebody will do something nice for you and you'll never see them again. So you can't do something nice back for them. But if you do something nice for somebody else because of what they've done, you honored what they've done for you. And you have done the same. And then those people will do the same. And then those people will do the same. And it spreads around the world. It's just that easy. Come on. You can spread diseases. You can spread weapons. You can spread bombs. You can spread hate. You can spread propaganda. But you can't spread love, joy, and peace. Give me a fucking break. Grow the fuck up. Evolve, will ya? You are so freaking far behind. You're thousands of years behind. The rest of the galaxy is waiting for you to catch up. You guys murder each other on a daily basis, and you wonder why. You say, oh, there's no other intelligent life because nobody comes here. Wrong. They come here, they're just not stupid enough to let you dumbasses know they're here. Because what do? You kill each other. What are you going to do to them? Old Farmer fucking Brown running out there with the shotgun. Come on, that's why we have all these alien movies and everything. We're trying to get you used to this shit so when it does happen, you ain't gonna come out there shooting at everybody. Start a god darn intergalactical war or some shit with your dumbass 12 gauges. Beings come all the way across the freaking galaxy in spaceships, and you shoot at them with a fucking 12 gauge or a missile. What a fucking idiot. And you wonder why. Oh, I don't know. The intelligent life don't come here because they're smart enough not to be around you. That's what the deal is. When we do come here, we don't let you know where we're at. Trust me, it's not for our safety. It's for yours. Because a blink in the eye and you're gone. It's just so pathetic. I mean, come on. You guys need to grow up. You need to evolve. You need to start loving each other. You need to get rid of all these weapons. Get rid of all this nuclear shit. Nuclear weapons, nuclear power. You're destroying the oceans. They're not telling you, but that last dealio over there with Japan's destroyed most of the oceans. 70% of the world population eat from the ocean. It's going to be a lot of hungry people. What do you think's going to happen when they run out of food? We're already shipping containers of people, bodies over to China because they're processing them in the chopped food main. Hey, look, it's American in a can. Ooh, this one's a youngin'. They'll have different flavors. They got kids' bodies in there. Teenagers' bodies, adults' bodies. You know all these homeless people that are coming up missing? Where do you think they're going? Hundreds of them just disappear off Edwards City. Look at Utah, Salt Lake, Utah. Oh, cops don't know what happened. They were doing a sting operation, and next thing they know, all the homeless people were gone. Hundreds of them. It's a mystery. They just disappeared. Well, it ain't a mystery. They got sent to one of them FEMA/prison death camps, got marched up to the old one of the 30,000 guillotines the government bought, lopped their heads off, threw them in a freezer trailer box, and shipped them over to China for food. I mean, they eat dogs alive, cook them alive. They'll eat anything. Instead of chop suey, it's chop Johnny. Eat American, it's healthy for you. We're like a freaking delicacy. Jesus, you like the little monkeys you see on the Faces of Death or whatever that damn thing was, where they put the poor little monkey on the table and beat its head in. Well, you're the freaking monkey now. Most of your monkeys anyway, because you're RH plus, RH positive blood type. 70% of the world is O positive. Less than 1% has my blood type. But hey, you know, everybody's got to be a little different. You guys just got to start changing things. You need to start taking control. Rich people don't belong in politics. There shouldn't be no rich people in politics. Average people need to take control of this country. Average people need to take control of every country. Get rid of all the rich people because they're just criminals. Come on, you know they're criminals. They don't even hide it anymore. They give themselves great big tax breaks and all kinds of stuff, walking around like they're king shit. It's just insane. And you got nothing. And you sit there and cheer. Woo! And you clap. Woo! And then you go home to nothing. I don't understand it. That's why we're here. That's why me and my sisters and my brothers. This is why we get on here and we waste our time. I mean, we might as well because we talk, we type, we talk, we text, we type, we post, we shoot movies, we shoot documentaries, we shoot media. It just doesn't matter. You could watch the footage. You could literally be sitting there and having it happen in front of your face. And I swear if they told you that it was fake, you'd believe it. All those fake media, even though you've seen it yourself. Everything's so easy now. You want to deny anything? Fake media. Oh, conspiracy theorist. You know, it kind of makes you wonder. Think about that 1947 Roswell. The responding military officers are highly trained military officers, so they know the difference between a flying saucer, a jet, and a weather balloon and dummies and real living things. Aliens or humans or whatnot. Carbon life forms like we are, or silicone life forms or whatnot. It don't matter. They're educated enough to know the difference. So what do? The head officer guy goes into town, reports to the newspaper that a flying saucer has crashed and that there are alien bodies there. And they're taking the alien bodies in to be autopsy done. But then the next day, they retract that. They say instead it's a weather balloon. But what they've done now is they've created a situation to where all these people now, oh, the government's hiding things. So now you got all these alien hunters over there in Roswell hunting for everything. They're selling trinkets. It's alien nation time over there, kind of. You got little stores and museums, and all the tourists flood there to see if they can see flying saucers come in. But it gives this government a chance to create conspiracy theorists. You see where I'm going with this? Just like creating fake media. And all you gotta do is say, hey, that's fake media. Well, okay, how do you know what media is or is not fake then? Is all media fake? You can't just say some media is fake. How do you know Fox is telling the truth and CNN is telling a lie? How do you know if BBC is telling the truth or if ABC is telling a lie? How do you know? It could all be fake media. Well, guess what? They're rich people. The rich, corrupt people that own everything, including you, own the media. They own the newspapers. I worked in the newspapers. Fifth generation. My kids were the sixth in the same paper. It was in the family trade. We got a lot of family trades. We do everything. We built this fricking country. My ancestors lived in this country before my other ancestors came to this country and slaughtered those ancestors. You're all my ancestors. I told you before, I am the fucking American melting pot. I'm every one of you because I'm as old gets. As my kids used to say. I used to ride the dinosaurs. Granted, it was in a different body. And let's talk about that for a minute. You want to talk about giants, except for not huge corporations. Let's talk about actual giants. 265 million years ago. 265 million years ago, the atmosphere was a lot thicker on this planet. Everything was bigger. There was silicone life forms. There was plants that grew 10 miles high in the sky like giant trees. And nowadays you climb them because you think they're rock formations or you think that they're volcano formations or some shit. And they're actually like tree stumps and plant stumps and shit that's left over from these huge plants. Well, everything was huge. The dinosaurs were huge. The people were huge. There were giants in those days. My part of my family started the Smithsonian and donated all the money. It was the Smithsons that did that. He didn't have no kids, so he left the money, his whole entire estate, to start the Smithsonian. And one of the uncles, uh, donated donated his private collection to get him started. But the oldest recorded giant that we know of is over 533 feet tall. That's pretty tall. Of course, as the Earth started changing and the atmosphere started getting thinner and thinner, these giants couldn't survive in that. Their lungs literally would give out on them because their atmosphere was so thin they just couldn't breathe. Like going up on the top of a mountain and it gets thinner at the top of the mountain, it's harder to breathe. So they literally suffocated to death. But in the process of this happening, they also started having offspring that got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So, there were giants in those days, and there is giants in these days, except for their huge giant corporations that destroying everything. And it's your politicians, your leaders, your corporations, your banking institutions, your shipping and receiving, import, export, and domestics. They control all of that. They control everything. It's just a giant. That's why, like I told you before, every war that we've gone to is because they tried not using our currency. If they don't use our currency, then they're not using our stock market, which means we can't control the world. So of course they're going to make everybody use their currency or go to war. Just like they're not going to get rid of oil and none of that because all their family money comes from that. The original people invested in that way back. Tesla wanted to do everything free electric. Could have had it free a long time ago. Magnetic power. We could have magnetic generators, not even use fuel to run these generators, but that's against the law to even build because they don't make no money on it if it's free. Money that they created because money don't even exist. It's just something they created. I mean, come on. It's time for everybody to start getting together. I don't care if you're black, Mexican, gay, female, male, like to dress different, fashion statement wise. I don't care what you believe in, what your fashion is, what color is, what you do. You've all got something in common. You need to get rid of these criminal terrorists that are posing as your government leaders and politicians. And their henchmen, aka law enforcement and kangaroo court systems. And the military needs to straighten up because, I come from a military family. I have a lot of respect for the military. But they need to understand that they're not supporting the right people. You're supposed to be protecting the United States and the United States citizens, not these criminal terrorists. So we need to get together, people. We need to make some changes. I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to show you the way. Like I told you, I'm the Serpent King. By birth, by right, by blood. Presidents mean nothing in God's eyes or the goddess's eyes. Only kings and queens. And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't mind having me a queen that was in charge of this stuff. Being the Serpent King, I can tell you that we need a queen. The queen is what this world needs. Every high organized system needs a queen. I know I need a queen, but I'm a pretty picky fucker, so I'd be lucky if I ever find another one. I shouldn't have got the last one, but I'm that kind of a person. And I'll tell you one thing, loyalty. People ain't got no loyalty anymore. You just do whatever you want. You ain't got no friends because you're two-faced, most of you are. You need to change your ways. You need to grow up. You need to be loyal. You need to be respectful. You need to be decent. You need to not flip your shit out, whip your shit out, feed your baby in public. Come on, that's wrong. That's not art. That's not freedom of expression. That's just wrong. I don't want to watch you feed your baby. Oh, we need private feeding booths and stuff like that to accommodate you. That I do admit. But that ain't no different than a guy whipping his, and urinating right there in front of everybody. It's wrong. You shouldn't do it. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't. I'm all about, nature and the body's beautiful and art and all that. That's fine. But there's a difference between art and pornography and just plain indecent. We need to start teaching our kids more morals. Granted, I know they cannot be in their rooms playing video games. This has got to end. They got to have time outside. There's got to be a lot of time for games, a lot of time for shows, a lot of time for outside, and a lot of times for work, a lot of times for homework and schoolwork and stuff. So there's a lot of responsibility in the kids and kids. Now, taking your kid's stuff out and running over with a lawnmower or shooting it with a gun is not my idea of being a good parent. Taking your kid's stuff and locking it up so they can't have it for a couple of days, I've done myself. But the main thing is you just gotta raise them right. You gotta make them understand. And I can't say I'm an expert because I've got some that didn't turn out so well. I'll tell you that. And I've dealt with a lot of kids, a lot of troubled teens, Columbine students, stuff like that. People thought we were going to go in and shoot people down. I've dealt with a lot of troubled teens and helped a lot of people in my life. And people can change, but you can't save everybody, not even your own blood. I mean, you can only do so much. And then you just got to let nature take its course. They'll figure it out. Even if it's sitting behind bars, they'll figure it out. It's just tough love. Sometimes you just got to give tough love. Don't ever abuse your children. Don't ever beat your children. I'm totally against that. You should never abuse anybody. But you can give tough love. And sometimes that's the best love to give. My father, he was a lot more than that. He gave me more than tough love. But, I used to hate him. And now I understand he made me the person that I am today. It was done by design. Because he knew what the world was going to be like. He knew the things I'd have to face. He knew the challenges that I would have. Just like all my sisters and brothers on here, the 144,000. We all know what we're doing can get us and probably will get us killed. But we're still here fighting for you. So you remember that. Every day we're on here and we're talking down people and we're telling you the truth. We're putting our lives at risk. This is not a game. This is not a joke. This is real for realsies. So it's time for you to start figuring it out. Because your kids are suffering. Your children are suffering. Your family's suffering. Your environment's suffering. The animals are suffering. Everything's suffering. Except for these rich people. And they're building all these underground bases in cities where they can go hide if anything goes wrong. You're not invited to the party. You're paying for it. But that's just for them. Anything goes down, you're left here to be fried crispy, I'll tell you that. Nuclear, whatever. Because you're nothing to them. So why do you think there's something to you? They're nothing to you. They're criminal terrorists that need to be put in prison on a prison island and left there to be with their own means. And we need to move on and build a better future and a new civilization where all people can come together. Every man, woman, and child is equal as each other. It doesn't matter what color you are or what religion you believe. It doesn't matter what practices you have. It doesn't matter what fashion you want to dress. I don't care who you want to sleep with. That's your business. Just don't do it in public. I don't do mine in public. Don't do yours in public. Get a room. It's not that hard. Feed your kid in that room while you're at it. But seriously, I don't know what else to say to you other than you need to change. You need to be better. You need to evolve. And you need to stop letting criminals rule your lives. And ruin your lives and your children's lives. Follow my pan plan. It's posted on my wall on Facebook. Lee Pan. You can see it. I'm very opinionated. I'm in areas. I'm very blunt and bold. It's just the way I am. And I'm 100% truthful. If I make a mistake, I will apologize. But that's just me. I believe everybody should be truthful, It's just like, I don't care how bad it is. I'd rather you tell me. If we ended up, not talking anymore because of it, fine, but I'd just rather you just tell me. Because if you lie to me, that's really going to upset me. I do not like being lied to. Because when you lie to somebody, you're taking them for a fool. You think they're stupid. And that is insulting. So be kind to each other. Spread love to each other. Don't hate people. Don't kill people. Don't hurt people. Help people. Do everything you can to be as good a person as you can to everybody you can. And the universe will remember you. No one ever truly dies, just the shell. Your spirit, soul, ka, whatever you want to call it's forever.